He asked me about my body count. I told him the truth and he walked out, never to return. At first, it seemed like a throwaway question, the kind people toss around jokingly when the conversation drifts toward the past. But that night, the moment those words left his lips, everything between us shifted. What I thought would end with a laugh, a shrug, maybe even an awkward smile, turned into the last time I ever saw him. It began on what felt like a perfect evening. We were curled up in the living room, a half-finished bottle of wine between us after dinner. The atmosphere was warm, easy, and comfortable. The kind of night that made you believe you could talk endlessly, sharing stories, teasing each other, letting little confessions slip out. I was relaxed, caught up in the way he grinned at me, the way he leaned closer so often that his hand brushed mine. After months of dating, the connection was undeniable. But I didn't know he was about to ask the one question that would undo it all. He leaned back, locked eyes with me, and with a smirk asked, "So, what's your body count?" I laughed at first, thinking he was being playful. The way he said it sounded teasing, like it wasn't serious. But when I didn't answer immediately, his tone changed. "No, seriously. I want to know." There was an edge in his voice now. I hesitated, swirling the wine in my glass, wondering if answering was even worth it. Because to me, my worth was never tied to a number. My past was my past, and I'd long made peace with it. But he sat there waiting, eyes fixed on me, almost daring me to say it. So I leaned in and quietly said, "You can't handle the number." His pride flashed across his face, as if he needed to prove me wrong. "Try me," he shot back. "I can handle it." He had no idea what he was asking. I took a breath, nerves buzzing through me. I wasn't ashamed, but I knew my answer could sting. And then I told him. The room fell into silence. His expression froze, the smirk gone. He blinked, trying to process, his hand trembling slightly around the wine glass. For a second, I thought he'd laugh it off, maybe brush it aside. Instead, he stood up. No yelling, no insults, no demands for explanations. He just got to his feet, walked toward the door, and with a voice so cold it cut me in half, he said, "I can't do this." I sat there stunned, watching him grab his jacket. I honestly thought he was bluffing, that he'd step out, cool off, then come back ready to talk. But the slam of the door still echoes in my memory. That was it. He never came back. Not a text, not a call, not even a goodbye. He disappeared as though the months we shared meant nothing compared to a single number. The days after were strange. At first, anger hit me. Angry that he'd asked if he wasn't ready to hear the truth. Angry that something so small, in the bigger picture of who I am, could erase everything we had built. Then came the sadness. I replayed the night again and again, wondering if I should have lied. Wondering if I should have laughed it off and given him a safe, acceptable answer. But then it struck me, why should I? Why should I shrink my truth to keep someone else comfortable? The irony was, before that question we were happy. We laughed, kissed, made plans for weekends together. He once told me he loved how real and honest I was. And yet, when faced with that honesty, he chose to leave. It made me wonder, did he ever really want the truth, or just a version of me that fit neatly into his expectations? The silence between us became permanent. Weeks passed, then months, and not once did I hear from him. Part of me expected a late-night text after a few drinks, asking to talk. But it never came. He made his choice. And in a way, I made mine too, by refusing to hide my truth. Looking back now, I realize that night was a turning point. It hurt, yes. It left me feeling raw, punished for being honest. But it also brought clarity. If someone can't accept your past, they don't deserve your present, let alone your future. I could have lied, softened the answer, made a joke. But that wouldn't have been me. And if he couldn't stay because of that, then maybe he was never meant to stay at all. Sometimes I wonder what went through his head after he left. Did he regret it? Did he brag about it? Did he convince himself he made some moral stand? Or did he just sit in his car, staring at the steering wheel, realizing he threw away something real over something that didn't define me anymore? I'll never know. Maybe I don't need to. What I do know is this. The truth can be heavy. It can push people away, but it can also protect you from wasting your time on someone who can't handle who you really are. That night, he asked about my body count. I gave him honesty. And instead of appreciating it, He walked out. But in the end, I gained something more important. Sometimes, their leaving is the answer you were waiting for all along. Because here's the truth he never heard that night. My past might come with numbers, but my future is priceless. And if all he saw was a number, then losing him wasn't a loss at all. He asked about my body count. I told him the truth. He walked out and never returned. And that's when I finally understood. Some people don't deserve every part of your truth, because the right one won't even need to ask.